I had an amazing reading month for April. Not so much in the quantity of books that I read, but more in the quality of the books that I read. So I did only end up reading 4 books for the month of April, which is not very many for me. Normally I am 5 or more, but the ones that I did read were so good. Also, if the light keeps changing, it's because my cat is playing in the curtains. She keeps opening and closing them. It's whatever, we're just gonna deal with it, honestly. But starting off April, I actually read Sunrise on the Reaping. I promise I'm not gonna spoil anything in this video. I'm just gonna give a very vague review. So if you haven't read this one yet, don't worry, you're safe here. I loved this book. 5 stars. I went into it thinking I knew exactly what was gonna happen, and I was so happy that I was wrong. And Suzanne Collins still surprised me at the end of like every chapter. This also solidifies the fact that I think we need more. Like, I would read through every Hunger Games ever, honestly, but I would love a perspective from a career. I think that would be so interesting. I've seen quite a few people online actually saying the same thing, so hopefully that's something we get in the future. But I'd take anything from this universe. Suzanne Collins is so good at making you think you know exactly where something is going to go, and then just like doing something completely out of left field that never even crossed your mind. Cannot wait until the movie for this comes out as well. That is going to be so good. They're just starting to like release who's being cast as certain characters, and so far so good. That's all I'm going to say because I don't want to be the person to spoil it for anyone. Definitely an amazing start to my April. Then I read Scythe and Sparrow by Bryn Weaver. This is the 3rd and last book of the Ruinous Love trilogy, and this one was 4 stars. I did really enjoy it. I will say I think the first book, Butcher and Blackbird, is my favorite just because the 2 main characters were my favorite out of the 3 books. But this one was a nice little conclusion to the trilogy, and there was a little teaser that Bryn Weaver might write more in this universe, so if she does, I'm totally looking forward to that, and I will definitely be pre-ordering it. This series also made me realize that I like dark romance, which I was so nervous to try and I thought it was not going to be my thing, but turns out serial killers and romance kind of go together. I actually really enjoyed it, so because of that I have purchased a few more dark romance kind of series, and I'm hoping to start those eventually, and I have this trilogy to thank. Bittersweet that it's over, but definitely one that I'm going to reread eventually and recommend to people who maybe haven't read dark romance before and want to try it as well, or maybe you do like dark romance but you haven't picked these up yet. They're pretty good. Then I borrowed an audiobook from my library called How to Piss Off Men. So this was basically a book in the form of a list about just that, ways to piss off men, and it was pretty good. I did find it very funny and I laughed out loud a few times, but I ended up rating it 4 stars just because some of it kind of felt like mansplaining. It was definitely an odd topic to read from the point of a male author. I mean, I guess he kind of knows what pisses off men, being a man. The points were really funny, but sometimes he just kind of went a little too into detail with it, and it wasn't necessary to me. I really just preferred like the short, simple ones, but still a really funny book, and very short. I think it was like an hour to 90 minutes long, so I blew through that one no problem, and it was very amusing. I don't think I'd ever listen to it again, but it was fun for like a one-time kind of thing. And then the last book that I read in April was My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. This book took me like 2 weeks to read because it is so dark and heavy and intense, and it is supposed to be. It's really supposed to make the reader feel uncomfortable, and it delivered in that front. I could only read a bit at a time, and then I kind of had to put it down and do something else just because it was very disturbing, and I think the most disturbing part about it is that it's very realistic. So if you've never heard about this book, it's about a young girl who is groomed by her teacher, and they end up in a relationship that she thinks is okay, and she believes that he loves her, and it's awful. And the most awful part is that it is so realistic and unfortunately happens. It's really, really hard read. But I think the author did an amazing job at showing different sides of it and not leaving the horrible things out. So yeah, I ended up rating this one 5 stars, and it was really good. It's something that I feel like I can see myself reading again in the very distant future, not anytime soon, because I'm going to be thinking about that book for a while, but it's something I also don't ever want to read again just because of how disturbing it was. Definitely mixed emotions when it comes to that book, and I'd be very hesitant to recommend it to people as well just because it is very dark. So if it sounds like something that might interest you, maybe check the content warnings first. But that is all that I read in April. Yeah, like I said, It was a very good month for the quality of books that I read, and I'm really hoping that May is just as good. But on that note, I think we're gonna leave this video here. I hope you have a great rest of your week and happy reading.